Welcome back, everyone. This week I'm going to be doing another movie review.
And just sits on his broke ass. So no, I don't want your number. No, I don't wanna give you mine. And no, I don't wanna meet you nowhere. No, I don't wanna.
The movie today that I'm going to be reviewing is Annabelle Creation. So we will potentially be getting into spoilery area. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you don't mind spoilers, stay, obviously. If you don't like spoilers, go watch it first, then come back. Now, with my last movie review kind of video that I did, I was talking about the 5 movies that I was most excited for. And the first one on my list was Annabelle Creation. And I talked a little bit about it, about how I wasn't really sure what direction they were going in for this movie because nothing in the trailer seemed to tie in with the actual movie itself. And so that kind of was a bit off-putting. It was a little, I was a bit hesitant to kind of go and see it, but obviously I still went, and I went in with an open mind, hoping for the best, and I was not disappointed in the slightest. So as I had stated before in that last video, I said, you know, maybe, like, my theory was, maybe they're going to have it be possessed, and then they remove it, and then it somehow ties into the next one by having a person named Annabelle go in. So, already with this movie, it did immensely better than the first one. According to Rotten Tomatoes, the first Annabelle movie, which came out in 2014, ended up only getting about 29%, whereas this one ended up getting 68%. So that is a big jump. That's like a good 39% difference. So it did do a lot better than the first one. I found the scares were a lot better. I wasn't as scared in the first one as I was in this one. I probably would have enjoyed the movie a lot more as well if it hadn't been for the group of people that were there. It was like the movie had already started and in walks like 10 women to go up to the very back, and they're like chattering the whole time as the movie's going, and then in walks a group of 15 to 20 like guys who sit like all over, and they're throwing shit around at each other and talking in normal voices instead of whispering or whatever. People's phones are going off and checking and texting and everything. It's like, you're at a fucking movie. Why are you unable to not use your phone, and why can you not be courteous for the other people who paid the money to go and see this, and just shut up? If you didn't want to see the movie, why are you fucking here in the first place? Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I was pretty much squeezing Ryan's hand the entire time just because it was very tense. It was very creepy in a sense. And I wouldn't say I was afraid. I jumped a few times in it, but it was mainly because of just the loudness. Now I know that typically horror movies nowadays are, oh, it's going to be a sneak up moment, so everything goes super silent, or you have the music build up and then it goes super silent, and then all of a sudden, loud noise, and you're like, ugh! This movie did that, for sure, but not as much as like other movies have done in the past. So the scares are good, and it still brings up the tension that's needed within the movie. Another thing that I really thoroughly enjoyed about this movie is that it didn't linger on one thing for too long. It would mention something and then it'd be like, oh, okay, and then it would kind of move on. It did some tie-ins with both the Conjuring universe as well as the very first Annabelle, which I loved. So here's where I'm gonna get into a bit of a spoilery area. There is one scene, and it's about like let's say it's about a 2-minute scene, maybe a minute and a half. This nun is asking the owner of the house that she's in to kind of, I guess, like fix her dumbwaiter in her room because it kept opening up and everything. So the guy fixes it, and then he looks at a picture of 4 nuns together, and he's looking at it, and he's like, oh, who are these people? And she explains like the whole situation in the background, and then he kind of like goes to put the picture down and notices something else, and he looks, and on the far right of the picture, in just like black background, it's like an open doorway, but it's all just black. It's like a hologram of the nun who was in The Conjuring 2, which they're doing a spin-off movie for as well. So I thought that was pretty neat. They touched on it, and he was like, "Oh, well, who's this?" And she's like, "I don't know. I've never seen this person before, ever." And then they dropped it, and they moved on with the story. It was a nice little tie-in to show that this is one big universe. It's not just like, here's Annabelle, here's The Conjuring, and we're done. It's, okay, we started with The Conjuring, we brought Annabelle into it, we did The Conjuring 2, oh, we're mentioning The Nun, and then now we're tying it all together with Annabelle Creation. So, yeah, so it brought the tension, it kept the tension. The scares were good. There were a lot of creepy moments. There was a lot of points when I was just like looking at it and just being like, ew, ew, you're gross, fuck off, that's disgusting. And it's not like it's gross, that's my reaction when something is scary or unsettling for me, is when I don't like it, I tend to say that it's gross or disgusting. So I said that a lot in the movie. So the nun was present, Annabelle obviously was present, so they tied in those. Another thing that they tied in to the very first Annabelle was the demon. If you did see Annabelle and you do remember, there was a point in time when the wife, I can't remember her name, but she was married to the John guy. She wanted that Annabelle doll. She went into the basement, I guess for laundry, I think it was, or to put the trash away or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Annabelle. But she went into the basement, and then all of a sudden there was like a baby carriage, and she was going up the stairs and running back to her apartment, and there was like this black devil demon thing chasing after her. And so that was actually a presence in this movie as well, and I really enjoyed that they tied it in that way. I will get into serious spoilers now, so if you do not want to find out about any of these, leave right now. Are you gone? Okay. I gave you plenty of warning. If you're not gone now, suffer the consequences. Needless to say, with my trailer review excitement thing that I did last week, I was right. So basically what had happened was, in the very beginning of the movie, you have this man and a woman, and they have this daughter named B. And he's trying to get a tire off of his car, and when he pulls it, there's this other car that's like coming up really fast, and the wife was like, well, let me wave it down, he can help me. It's like, no, it's fine, I got this. So he pulls on the tire, one of the little like knob things fell off and rolled in front of the girl, but in the middle of the road. And the little girl B was like, oh, I'll get it, and she runs, picks it up, and the car fucking just kills her instantly, dead, murdered, bye. You learn later on that the two parents really wanted to see her again. They wanted to just give their faith over to any type of entity, basically, to just have the ability to have their daughter back, or to be able to see or communicate with their daughter again. And so it started off little, and it went to playing music that they played her every night when she went to bed, which was You Are My Sunshine, which is now forever burned off of my listening list. So there was that, and then they started seeing her, and then she'd leave little notes like, come find me, I found you, you're getting closer, all those kind of things, like how it showed in The Conjuring or in Annabelle. And that's because that's what she did. And so they're like, oh, okay. And then it asked them permission to move into the doll, so that way they could hold her, be with her forever. So when it did, they started seeing glimpses of her. And there's one point when the mother goes to put clothes away into a drawer or whatever, she looks up in the mirror and she just sees this black little gremlin looking thing in the corner, and she turns around, then she sees the girl, and she runs away. So she's like, okay, that's gross. So then you see the part of the trailer where the mother comes in holding the cross in the book, and she's like, Annabelle? Because that's B's official name is Annabelle, but B was just the nickname. And she's holding it out, and she starts cracking her bones and standing up and getting taller and walking towards her. And what happens is she slices half of the woman's face and takes out her eye. So the mother has to now wear a doll mask, so she's Phantom of the Opera now. When the nun, who's now moved in with a bunch of children, because now they've turned their house into an orphanage, the nun talks to the mother, and the mother reveals her face and explains everything to her, and then next thing you know, you're hearing, one girl named Janice, she has polio, she can't really walk. She then gets possessed by the little girl, who's not really the little girl. And so she starts acting creepy, and the girl whose friend was like, they're like best friends, she's noticing things that are like, okay, well, she's different now. She can actually walk as well instead of having to use her little like crutch, and she's creepy. So things are happening, and then all of a sudden, so the father goes to like rid the demon with his handmade cross that he made, but his like fingers start breaking, and then he dies. So he's gone. The mother gets like ripped in halves, and she's hanging up like as if she's Jesus, but she's like nailed to the wall like this, and just her entire lower body's just gone. She's just dripping blood. By the end of the movie, the nun who's living with all these girls end up pretty much saving the day by taking the doll and taking the girl who's possessed and shoving them both into a closet surrounded by pages in the Bible, and she just closes it, throws down an entire like cabinet of, I don't know, dishes, and then they run out of the house as things are exploding and flying all over the place, and all you just hear is this like scream. And when the police finally arrive and the priest is there, he checks everything. He's like, yeah, no, the doll is just a conduit. It's fine. It's just a doll now. There's nothing wrong with it. The girl's nowhere to be found. Happy little story ending from them. But then it transitions into these two people walking into a different orphanage. The woman who's running the orphanage is like, oh, well, you know, she's had a lot of trouble. I'm thinking, okay, it's the little girl who saw her friend kind of get like possessed. Oh, no, it was the possessed bitch. She is now in this new orphanage, and her name was Janice, but when she got possessed, she became Annabelle. So you're introduced to the man and the woman from the Annabelle movie. Not the blonde and John who had their baby, but like their neighbors, because then they adopt this Janice Annabelle person, and it shows like a picture of her kind of getting older and older and older, and then it shows that she has dark hair. So then that signals that that's the Annabelle who was in the first Annabelle before she became the doll, where she like killed her parents with her like hippie boyfriend or whatever. And then so you see that whole scene play out, and you see like the Annabelle, grown-up Annabelle, slit her father's throat, and then her hippie boyfriend guy comes in, and like then you see from the window him like jump onto the wife and like go to kill her, and then the lights shut off, and then as that happens, then you see the woman from the first Annabelle sit up in her bed and it's like, John, wake up. And that's how they connected it. I was right about the whole there being an entity within it being rid of, and then Annabelle going in, because they showed how it happened in the first one. So I was happy that they tied it in that way. I was so pleased and not disappointed at all with this movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Do go watch it because it is good. I'm gonna rate this movie about an 8 out of 10. I think it's worth that. It is very good. It has a good storyline. It has the great tie-ins for the universe and everything like that. So do go watch that. If you enjoyed this movie review, please make sure you hit the like button. Leave some comments down below letting me know if you enjoyed the movie, if you saw it, or what movie I should review next time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, check out last week's video, and make sure you check out the playlist of all my other movie reviews, and I will see you next time.